let's go into this a little more because you have the sprouter there.
Yes.
You're the inventor of this sprouting machine.
Yes.
And I've tried other sprouting machines, and I wanted people to know about this machine.
Yes.
I'll tell you why. Because I've tried, not just because you're my friend, it's because I've used other sprouting machines, and they're a pain in the butt. Well, the seeds fall through. You can't mix broccoli with lentils. You can't. This is so easy, so elegant, and I've been using it, and it's definitely the best. And I want to tell people how it works and why I use it. I tried other sprouting machines.
And you tried.
I had the plug-in one where I plug it in. It's electrical, does it all yourself. It was just, it's a mess.
You've been trained that you told staff that it was time-consuming for your staff.
Well, they would keep. Well, you know what? I know that we want people to have mixed sprouts, and some of the seeds with the sprouts, like the radish sprouts and the broccoli sprouts, are really tiny. Mm-hmm. So these machines would only take the mung bean sprouts and the bigger sprouts because they would fall through the. And I couldn't. The ones that had the smaller things you couldn't mix the sprouts. You couldn't grow. It was only one type of sprout. It didn't taste anyway. It's so much more convenient. I can take a scoop of that mixes the mix that you make. I use. Yes. It has the alfalfa, the lentil, the broccoli sprout, and the radish sprout in there. And I can take a scoop of that. And what I do is I take a scoop of that, and I don't fill the scoop all the way up. And I take a little extra of the broccoli sprouts from the other bag, and I put that in with the mix. And I can make any combination I want, dump it in there. And he says, soak it for, I could soak it for whether I soak it for 2 hours or I soak it for 8 hours, doesn't matter a difference. And I rinse it out, I rinse it off, put it in the machine. And then all I do is when I make the dog food in the morning, when I get up to have breakfast, in a minute I just rinse them out. And the night before I go to bed, when I'm cleaning up for dinner, I just rinse them out. No work. And I got great sprouts that 100% germinate and are always fresh tasting, have no rottenness, off taste, sliminess. They're clean tasting. It's just the best quality, most efficient equipment. And I wanted you to explain why it's so simple.
Yeah.
And it works like that.
Well, when I wrote the book, I actually put a chapter in called Junkyard Dog, where I was taking pasta jars, mason jars. I was using cheesecloth.
Right.
They sell these plastic lids that go in a mason jar, on top. People were using stainless, starts off with a stainless steel screen, but it was like window mesh. So it ended up collecting bacteria and rusting.
And things getting stuck in there. These things are hard to clean out. Yeah. And it's taking forever to do it. This is just like I rinse it off, it's done, it takes nothing.
Well, so the first thing that I did was I wanted to create a filter that was as durable as like a drain in a stainless steel commercial sink. So something that was stout, that you could fill it, that would capture the smallest seed and hold it in and have that fit on top of the jar. And then when I looked at the jar, the average mason jar, has a bell, and it bows out. So when you have it at an angle, all the water doesn't drain. Right. And you don't want the seeds or the sprouts to be sitting in still water. So literally I had to go, and I wanted to have a bigger jar because I want to have a lot of sprouts. So the other jars were small. So I made a big jar. And then what happened is, my wife is the size of Jenna, similar hands, and she dropped one of the glass jars. So for a second I contract and I go, oh, well, maybe I need to make plastic. And then like every part of me just said, no plastic. Yeah. So I had to squeeze the jar and let Jenna, grab this with her little hands. But she can hold that, so we made a grip on it.
Wow.
And then we made the edges straight. So this is another point. Can I have that back, Dr. Fuhrman?
I like it.
We made the edges straight so all the water would drain out, and we put the threads on the outside. So it took a while, and
it's smooth here.
Smooth there.
To the end, so nothing collects.
So all the water can come out.
Right.
And then, like, I have a lab. Like I'm a hacker. So I built a lab and I tested the angles from one degree all the way up to 90 degrees. And the problem, with when you do it at 90 degrees is that the sprouts stack on each other. And I made this so you could, do it this way, but the sprouts stack on each other and they end up occluding the airflow. So when I was designing this, with a team of mechanical engineers and industrial designers, we were looking at airflow, air exchange, drainage, and then we ultimately came up, with this particular angle, and then I wanted it to be something that people would want to have, because
That's 45 degrees about.
I think this is actually a little closer to 30 degrees.
Okay.
In here, 45 was a little too extreme.
Okay.
And so when we got to this part, I wanted it to be something that people would not hide, because when you're using, I was using iPad stands and bowls and other contraptions that I felt that the sprouts were worthy of design and beauty.
Something aesthetically pleasing.
So form follows function. So this was the process. And then the reason why the sprouts, so this is another part. And now that we have access to data scientists and AI, we're able to rationalize the data. And it turns out that if you were to take, and there's clearly more servings of chicken being eaten than sprouts, but if you were to simplify them in algebra and say how many cases per million, right? So sprouts, over an extended time period, maybe would 10 people per million might, have some sort of illness with it. Lettuce, regular lettuce from the supermarket, was 20 cases per million, and chicken was like 800 cases per million. Right. But what happened is it's not even newsworthy when someone gets salmonella from chicken. Like they just expect.
Oh, because you're thinking about the people thinking they're going to get some contamination.
Yeah, and so it turns out if you get the seeds, so what we did was we said, okay, we need to get the highest quality seeds that were grown for the purposes of sprouting. Because if you could get seeds, you could get 5-year-old seeds coming from over the border that are in a bulk bin that you don't know where they are. They could be contaminated or the like. So we're getting seeds that were grown for the explicit purpose of sprouting. Yeah. Then we're taking those seeds and we are specifically measuring the germination rate. So we will not sell a seed that has not been tested for at least minimum 85% germination rate.
I just want to clarify what that is, because you mentioned it before. That's how many seeds end up sprouting, I'm assuming? Okay.
Yeah, versus rotting.
Okay, versus rotting.
Because that's what I was saying. Since I've been using, I get the seed from you, I'm using your sprouter now. Yeah. And it's so much easier because now, just like it fills up, and when I open the top to take out the sprouts from my salad, I don't have leftover unsprouted seeds. Yeah. It seems to all sprout. Yeah, I have a clean, and when I clean this out, it's almost clean. When I take the sprout out of it, there's nothing, there's no smell, there's no junk, there's no rotten seeds.
About the smell.
It's all clean.
They smell good?
Yeah. Smell good, smell fresh.
Well, it's fresh. So the second thing that we do is we actually, per batch, we'll go through the batch, take the water, send it out to a lab to make sure that there are no pathogens or any part. And then these seeds, all of our seeds are non-GMO. 100% of the seeds are non-GMO. And all of the seeds are organic, except we have one special genetic variety that was cultivated for this high glucoraphanin, high sulforaphane, which you wanted to talk about. But in this case, being able to get the germination rate, to get the pathogen testing, to get the organic was a standard. And I just gave a keynote at the International Sprout Growers Association. I'm not a member. They invited me because I'm, breathing life into this category because I think, and I have a vision for 100 million countertop sprouters. Like this is a message worth sharing. And we're seeing people telling their friends, giving gifts, giving the gift of life, because anybody can grow sprouts.
You're right. This is a great gift, like a Christmas gift or something. Yeah.
Well, and it looks good that look how beautiful that is. I mean, the fact that you get to eat all that high nutrient sprouts and grow it on your countertop where it looks aesthetic. I mean, I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, also, I have 3 of them set up in the kitchen.
Thinking I might steal one. after this conversation. You grow my sprouts, but
No, but you should have 2 of them in your house. I could have 3 of them in my house.
well,
You know what I'm saying?
between the 2 of us.
Yeah.
Because I mean, but in any case, because I have 5 people, I have more people in my house.
Yeah.
You know, I have other people living with me.
Well, I mean,
Called
You're-
children.
My children are significant others. They're my married children.
well, I mean, how lucky are you?
Yeah, right.
You know, it shows because normally the kids can't get far enough away except for the holidays.
We planned it this way.
So,
Yeah.
but the interesting thing is that a lot of people thought of sprouts as a garnish or a side dish. Out of necessity, sprouts became the center of my dish. So I make a salad with broccoli sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, radish sprouts, lentil sprouts, mung bean sprouts, green pea sprouts. So all of a sudden we're getting this enormous microbiome diversity of living foods, and then the fresh tahini dressing. So all of a sudden, like I'm getting, like it sounds incomprehensible, Jenna. I get full from eating sprouts.
Eating so many sprouts. Wow.